Here's me, you know, just enjoying myself, making Yu-Gi-Oh! From scratch and playing with my dragon deck, okay? And here's you.
Where's my fucking sealed-only Dream Mirrors? Play Dream Mirrors, you fuck nugget! This isn't Dream Mirrors!
Fuck's sake. Hello, what's up? So, for those of you who are out of the loop, a big meme on our channel here is people asking for sealed-only Dream Mirrors. Don't ask why, I honestly have no idea how it happened, but at some point during Yu-Gi-Oh! From scratch, it just became a thing, okay? So today, we're finally gonna give the people what they want and celebrate the channel smashing that 20k subscriber mark. We're also gonna be giving away 20 different little OCG goodies to you guys in this video, but we'll talk more about that later. For now though, smash the damn like button, come and join the party in the comments section, and enjoy the show. So, Dream Mirrors are an incredibly unique archetype with creative gameplay concepts and beautiful artwork. Like seriously, the artwork is incredible, just look at it. Just look at it! The archetype itself is based on the duality of dreams and nightmares, with each character having a light and dark counterpart. The monsters in the archetype are actually named after the Greco-Roman gods of sleep and dreams, so there's a bunch of interest in mythology there to explore if that piques your curiosity. Gameplay-wise, they tag out and gain different effects depending on what field spell is active, so naturally they rely heavily on actually having one of them live, which can be an issue when it comes to consistency. What they lack in consistency, they don't really even make up for in power, so to put it bluntly, they suck big fat disappointing balls. Shame really, but we're gonna try and make it work. This isn't gonna be a full series, just a singular video, so let's lay down the rules. First, we have full access to every card we've pulled in any sealed product on the channel, including the Shaddoll Structure decks, the Ignition Assault, you know, the magical hero. We can use all of that. And second, we're not restricted to a £30 a week budget, so we're gonna have a larger opening to put towards this single video. Lastly, we're just here to take the piss and have fun, man. It's very possible that we don't win a single game because the deck sucks, but that's okay. As long as we're having a good time, that's all that matters. So I think throughout the course of Yu-Gi-Oh! From scratch, we've managed to get pretty much every card in playset from Chaos Impact. It's just the Rising Rampage stuff we really need. So yeah, let's go open some cardboard. Okay, so we're not quite on the levels of Team Samurai just yet, but it is a rather large opening for this kind of video. We don't just have one booster box of Rise and Rampage, we have two. I'm sure we'll get all of the commons and supers we need out of this, but the main goal is to pull the ultras. So let me just whip these open real quick. Alright, so because we're opening two boxes, the chances of pulling like a Starlight or Apollousa are actually reasonably high. I'll actually be quite sad if we do pull one, because we still need Mommy in Yu-Gi-Oh! From scratch. But for pack number one here, we have, okay, starting off with an Ultra, Borreload X Charged Dragon. No Dream Mirror cards. You know, I've forgotten what Dream Mirror cards are actually in this set, but, you know, I'm sure we'll pull like a playset of everything. Except the Ultras, obviously. Also, I understand that this will be quite a lengthy opening for this kind of video, so I'll try and edit it down where I can. On to the third pack here, we have another Glory Hole, Fuma Wave, Channeling, Return of the Normal, Monk of the Tenny, and Hypernova Burst for the Super. Pulling an Apollousa wouldn't actually be that good in this video because Dream Mirrors realistically aren't putting out a 3 or 4 counter negate. Most of the time it's like normal summon pass, and that's with a good hand, so getting out 4 materials, not happening. Skew, Burb, Return of the Normal, Vessel, and oh, Morpheus. Okay, we got our first Dream Mirror card of the opening, about time. Super rare, the Light, level 8. You need a couple of all the different monsters because you tag in and out so often, so it will be getting used. We're almost halfway through the first box with pretty much nothing to show for it outside of Morpheus and an Ultra. So we have Martial Anko, Battle, Fortune, okay, Cap Shell. Yes, it's a secret, I'll take it. It's not very good, it's not worth anything, but you know, oh god. Quarter of the way there after this pack, we have a Dwimmered Glimmer, Samorg, Glory Hole, Star Power, Ikelos, the Dream Mirror, Mara. Okay, that's good, we want to see that. In this one, we have a Martial Ankelo, another Burb, Samorg, Rescue, Tenyi, Spirit, and Hata. The text seems a little bit low on this. And a second Morpheus with a ding on the left-hand side there. Rise and Rampage seems to be pretty poorly made, honestly. Imagine pulling a Prismatic Apollousa and it just happens to be factory damaged. Oh, Dream Mirror Fantasy. Thank you very much. Common trap card. I'll be taking one of those. It would have been much easier for me to just make a can you build a deck from Rise and Rampage first and then do this video because I would have access to all the cards. But here we have a Star Power and Witchcrafter Golem Ururu, which is our second secret of the box. Is kind of miscut as well. All the secrets seem to be miscut for some reason. But yeah, she's going to be no use for our cause. Fuma Wave, Rogue of Endymion, Yosenju, stupid name, and Shaman of the Tenyi, our second ultra of the box. Not very useful. Straight in the pile. I actually tried Ranryu in our from scratch deck because it's a wind dragon that special summons itself to the zone a spellcaster points to, and Crusadia Magius is a spellcaster, but it was a little bit too inconsistent. It relied too much on the Crusadia engine, so we unfortunately had to scrap that idea. But okay, Morpheus the Dream Mirror Black Knight, ultra rare. That is what we're looking for. I'm pretty sure we already have one pooled in the From Scratch series, so this makes two, and I'm pretty sure we have one of the light ultras as well. So if we get one more of those, I'm happy. Millennium Scales at the front there. And for the rare, we have Vishuda, which is actually quite good. Oh, we got another Dream Mirror Fantasy as well. But Vishuda could potentially be played, because obviously we don't have Extravagance. We have plenty extra deck space. So it's not a problem just slotting in Monk and Vishuda. Oh, Dream Mirror of Joy as well. Nice, all the Dream Mirrors are kicking off. Basically, we can play Vishuda if it comes to it. Sexy Summon, Sea-Star, Ranryu, another Vishuda, another Ikelos Mara, that's what I like to see, and Dream Mirror Fantasy as well in the same pack. Okay, that was a good one. That was definitely a good one. Final pack of the first box of Rise and Rampage here. Return to the normal, Fuma Wave, Ranryu, Channeling, Berserker. God, the text is really low on that. And White Aura. Oh, another fantasy at the back there. But we've already pulled our three. So, yeah, on to the second box. Booster pack number 1. We have a Yosenju Wind Worship, Beetle, Fuma, Fortune. Okay, starting off strong with an Ultra again. Fortune Lady Calling. We have a 5th fantasy in there as well. But yeah, another Ultra. I'm just going to set these out, by the way, so we can clearly see how much of each card we have. We've still not pulled a single Dream Mirror of Terror, which is quite interesting. Booster pack number 2. I got Rogue of Endymion, Psychic, Sea-Star, Yosenju, Monk, and Gizmek. Orochi, the Serpatron Sky Slasher. A secret right after an Ultra. Very cool. Could we use it? We could maybe use it. I don't know, we'll see. I was considering on going with a danger variant because we have a lot of dangers from all the tins we opened, and there we go, first Dream Mirror of Terror. About time we've seen one of those. I think we've pulled 2 of each of the field spell in the From Scratch series anyway, so it wouldn't have been a big deal if we didn't pull any. Fortune Lady Rewind, and a 3rd Morpheus. I don't think we will play 3, but just in case we do have the 3rd one here, that's fine. Dino Dude, Samorg, Kaiser Seahorse, and we got the 3rd Ikelos Mara. That's cool, we need 3 of those at least. Ooh, okay, we got another Ultra, Spirit Sculptor, the blacksmith with the shiny marshmallow. Interestingly enough, this could be used in Dream Mirrors because the light and dark counterparts have the same stats, just reversed. Although the issue with that is that we need our normal summons, so we wouldn't be able to get it on the field like ever. Flawless Perfection, and Morpheus the Dream Mirror Black Knight again, putting our total up to 3. That's back to back after the Spirit Sculptor as well, pretty cool. But my issue is that we've now pulled 3 Ultras and we still haven't seen Ikelos the Dream Mirror Sprite, so let's just pray that the final Ultra in this box is what we need. I believe we're roughly about halfway through the second box now. So we have Reversible Beetle, Samorg, Return, Sea-Star, Hraesvelgr, and Get Out for our second secret of the box. Man, Rise and Rampage is such a fat egg, honestly. If you don't pull Bomommy, you've just wasted money. Sabu, Onslaught, Adhara, no! Marincess Blue Slug as our final Ultra, leaving us with the final pack of Rise and Rampage. Honestly, this should just have a super in it, but I guess we can pray. Alright, 3 to the front. Come on now. Cross, Debug at the front. Marincess, Current, Fury of Fire, Channeling, Sea-Star, Ranryu, Rogue of Endymion, Monk of the Tenyi, and it's a spell, Dream Mirror of Joy. Sad times. We ended on a Dream Mirror card though, so nice. So apparently I'm missing a Brain Cell or 6 because I thought we'd pulled an Ikelos Sprite in Yu-Gi-Oh! From Scratch, Turns out we haven't, and the Dream Mirror deck is kind of unplayable without it, so we need at least one. Therefore, we've thrown another £55 at this deck. The things I do for you guys, honestly, good thing there's a Patreon link in the description, so we're just going to turbo through this box now. First, booster packs of box number 3. We've got Ankle Boy, Dwimmered Glimmer, Grid Rod, Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi, and another Witchcrafter Golem Aruru, miscut secret rare in the first pack, and the rare text is still quite low as well, so, you know, Rise and Rampage up to its usual antics. We have a Yosenju Sabu, Psychic Fervor, Fuma Wave, Blackbird, Berserker the Tenyi, and thank God, man, Ikelos, the Dream Mirror Sprite. 3 boxes it took for us to get at least one of these. So you could say this card cost us £165. People buy singles, not sealed product. This is stupid. We now have 20 packs of Rise and Rampage that are kind of pointless to open, but you know what? Let's open them anyway. Spirit Sculptor, ultra rare. Another Morpheus Ultra. Man, this box would have been perfect before. Romulus. Another copy of Get Out for our second secret of the box. Borrowload X-Charge Dragon as a 5th Ultra in the one box. You don't see that too often. Right, I actually mean it this time. Final pack of the Dream Mirrors from scratch opening. We have Mary and Joseph with little baby Jesus, Yosenju's Sword Sting, Blockout Curtain, Millennium Scales, Return to the Normal, some more Onslaught, Reversible Beetle, Fortune Lady Rewind for the rare, and White Howling as our final super rare today. Ah, thank God we actually got this thing. Ideally we would have 3, but we're just going to have to build the deck with 1 and see how it plays out. Then we can take it to locals. Yes, I'm dedicating the last locals before the pandemic lockdown to Dream Mirrors from scratch. And we got some giveaway details to speak about as well. So let's get into that. Right, so I heard that you may want to win one of these 20 OCG goodies. Well, here's the deal. We're going to give 5 of these items away to Patreon supporters. We're also going to give 5 away to YouTube channel memberships. 5 are going to be given away through Discord as usual. And the last 5 are going to be given out through Twitter. Yes, you heard me. We now have an official Twitter set up and run primarily by my girlfriend. So go drop us a follow at RevzCards UK and keep your eyes out for a tweet that mentions the giveaway details. Discord members will be chosen at random, so as long as you're in the Discord, you will be entered into the giveaway. Exclusive posts will be put up for Patreon and YouTube channel members over the next week, and as usual, the first person to comment on each post will win the item in that post. So good luck to you all. Thank you so much for the support and getting me to where I am today, and enjoy the rest of the video. Right, so we've jumped straight into locals without a deck profile because I want to practice with a rough copy of the deck before putting it to the final test. So yes, there will be a deck profile after the locals segment, and then we'll move on to the grand finale. For round 1 here, we're up against Dinos, and I choose to go first after winning the dice roll. Right off the bat, we're feeling the true pain of Dream Mirrors as we don't have any access to a field spell whatsoever. I set both Phantasms and Avarice and then start by revealing Thunderbird. Of course, he manages to snipe it with no effect, so we then go into the Mothman, which he does miss, drawing us into our second Dark Doggo. Just to avoid losing to Twin Twisters here, I activate Phantasms and search for one of our little level 1 Maras. Then normal summon the dog, will go into Dweller and pass turn, hoping he's playing a graveyard based strategy. This way, if we don't get OTK'd and he does manage to beat over Dweller, we then have 5 monsters in the graveyard to activate Avarice next turn. So during his standby, I activate the Dweller to play around his Kaijus, and I'm not sure if that stopped him or if he just bricked, but all he does is special summon Pancratops, attack, and pass turn. With an actual glimmer of hope, I draw my card, and it's our one of Ikelos Sprite, which totally ruins everything because the plan was to summon it from deck to get the effects, which I can no longer do, and to add insult to injury, our Avarice gets ashed. My only line of play now is to set up a Linkuriboh in hope, but it's no match for the true wrath of Unga Bunga Dinos. Game 2, because his strategy is based around going second, I make him go first, and we actually have a field spell in our hand, but we don't have a Dream Mirror monster that we can summon. He does absolutely nothing, meaning our Pankratops is useless, and of course we draw into our one-of Ikelos Sprite. Kicking things off, I activate the Dark field spell and then normal summon Sprite, tributing her for her effect to summon Mara from the deck. Mara would then be able to summon Morpheus from hand, and we could start swarming the board. However, Ikelos gets met with an Ash. Then going through our dangers, he misses the Mothman and we draw into a Phantasos friend. He misses the Jackalope and we draw into a Thunderbird, and then he snipes the Thunderbird again and we're forced to pass turn. He starts by activating Lost World and then slamming down a Kaiju Slumber, which wipes my board, and then he gives us a token off his summon of Dogoran. Summoning Pankratops, he then continues to pop off, but he's not able to kill us this turn, so we have one play to make. Top decking a Thunderbird is rather useless here, so we normal summon our best friend, to which he activates Pankratops. We save our good boy by tagging out into foe, but on the summon he activates Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, flipping us face down, and yeah, we really didn't stand a chance. Round 2, we end up against Atagnister. We win the die roll and choose to go first, but once again, we have no access to a field spell. I set Fantasy from hand and reveal Nessie, which he misses, so we summon it and draw into a snake. Instantly revealing the snake, he misses once again, so we summon it and draw into a live Allure of Darkness, so straight away we just activate that to see what our options are, and we get Hypnagogia and Morpheus in hand. This is good because it allows us to actually make some interesting plays. Hypnagogia sets both field spells from the deck to both players' zones. So we set our trap, normal summon our Dark Doggo, and link the two dangers into Masquerena. The game plan is to get Morpheus on board, and the thing that makes this deck difficult is that we're going to have to go through 6 different effects and therefore chain resolutions before we can actually do that. So figuring out when best to interrupt your opponent and linking that to the 7 plays you have to make in advance, it's a little bit too big brain for me. Morrison starts by normal summoning Balancer Lord and activating its effect to gain an additional normal summon, which he uses to summon Picari. Searching for the Ignister field spell, the biggest thing I know about Ignister is that they rely heavily on that field spell, so I'm waiting for him to activate that before I activate Hypnagogia. He follows up with the Ignister Fusion spell, which allows him to use one link monster I control, so he gets rid of my Masquerena that way. Linking his 2 monsters into Cyber's Wicked, he then finally activates the field spell, allowing me to steal his turn, if you will. So activating Hypnagogia, I get both field spells onto the board, which both also have effects that we need to take into consideration. So while I control a Dark Dream Mirror monster with Terror on the field, every time he special summons, he takes 300 burn damage. Also, now that we have the field spells on the board, we can start that long-winded process of getting to Morpheus. Starting with the effect of Phantasos Foe, we summon Phantasos Friend from the deck, who on summon special summons a Dream Mirror from graveyard in defense position. I forgot it was in defense position, that's why it's in attack. Obviously, turn player priority is a thing, so we can't just go through every one of our effects without our opponent able to do something, so we have to sort of intertwine our effects together. Morrison activates his Cyberus Reborn spell, to which we chain Ikelos Mara to tag out into Ikelos Sprite. Summoning his Picari to his Cyber's Wicked zone, we then have a new chain on resolution, so he searches for a Cyber's Tuner and I search for a Dream Mirror card. So I add Morpheus and he adds Bururu, but then on a new chain, because Balancer Lord was banished, he gets to special summon one from hand, and I chain Ikelos Sprite to summon Mara from the deck. Man, this game is just a mess.
A whole lot of nothing's going on here.
That's what I hate about this.
Okay, resolve. Resolve your effect, gamer.
Okay.
On resolution. Ikelos.
Chaining one.
Oh no!
That's an on-summon effect.
What does he do now?
Flourishes and Atagnister.
Okay, chain 2. Special summon resolve. Come on, your turn's taking forever.
Hey.
Effect.
Oh, I wonder
on
why that
resolution.
is. Wait, no, I want to change target.
Okay.
So we actually finally got to Morpheus, but I didn't know that Cyber's Wicked could not be destroyed by card effects, so I just destroyed his tuner instead. On my next turn, I actually got an opening to start beating him down, and this would have been game to us if I had enough targets in deck to keep tagging out and attacking directly, but I had no targets at all, and he eventually came back and swung for 1,000,000 points of damage with a Firewall Dragon.
10,500.
Yeah. Okay.
Game 2, I make him go first, and not gonna lie, we actually have a solid hand. Even after dropping an Ash Blossom on his Ichichi, he still manages to end on a 3-counter Firewall Dark Fluid and 2 back row. Thankfully, we draw into an out. After clearing his firewall, I activate the light field spell and normal summon Mara, activating its effect to tag out into Sprite. Here we would get to search for a Dream Mirror monster, but he activates the Imperm to negate the effect. After that, I simply just move to the end phase and tag out our field spell so we can then play on his turn. He starts by normal summoning Balancer Lord, to which we chain Sprite's effect, tagging out into Mara to then summon Morpheus from hand. When summoned this way, the light Morpheus can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and with 2-8 defense we should be safe this turn. He really doesn't have any resources left, but he is able to clear the rest of our board outside of Morpheus, although because we no longer have a field spell, there's not a whole lot we can do either. We do climb our way up into a Masquerena buffed Trisbana, and he apparently has no out to that, so he scoops and we go to game 3. He makes me go first, and there's about 2 minutes left on the clock, so I normal summon our Mara and link into Linkaribo and pass turn. I don't know why I didn't extend further with the danger. Instead I used a solid strategy that I learned from Farfa.
Microcoder effect.
1, 2, 3, time!
What does this do? I need to check this is legal.
Microcoder effect.
What does that do?
Adds a sign.
Yes, right. Yes! Sorry, what's in your grave? Hey, yo, what does Lady Debug do?
Add my name.
No, you just pick it up. Hey, yo, does Lady Debug have a belly button?
That is something mad with that.
Time on the round!
A very well-earned tie, if you ask me. Small disclaimer, please don't actually play like this, we were just joking around and having a laugh. Round 3, we're up against Mech Knight Shaddoll Invoked. I started the recording a little bit late, but we set a Hypnagogia and normal summoned a Mara. He sets a back row and summons a blue sky, which then searches for a purple. From there he sets another back row and summons purple, who banishes blue to search for indigo. I was saving the Hypnagogia in case he activated a meltdown, but it kinda bit me in the ass because he activates Invocation to summon Winda. Then using the effects of Squamata and Hedgehog, he adds a Wendy to hand and dumps a dragon to pop my back row, so then I chain Hypnagogia. Going to the battle phase, he attacks over Mara with Winda, so I tag her out into Sprite and get a search for Morpheus, and then because we're under the Winda lock we can't special summon any further, so he just clears our board and deals a chunk of damage. Over to us, top decking a light Morpheus for turn. I see my only line of play as normal summoning our good boy friend. Tagging him out into Phantasos Foe, we gain the effect of attacking directly, so we do just that and poke him for 19. Honestly, if he had just kept his board here and kept attacking, he would easily have game, but he decides to try and extend further and comes out of the Winda lock. As soon as Construct hits the board, I decide to take my opportunity and start activating our effects. Tagging Foe into Friend, once again we start these nutty chain links because he sends Squamata with Construct, and then chain link 1 his Squamata goes off, and chain link 2 we summon Mara from the graveyard. He dumps the trap off of Squamata, then once again on resolution Mara summons Morpheus from hand, popping his Construct. He sets the Shaddoll trap that he added off of Construct getting sent to the graveyard and manages to climb his way up into a 4-counter negate Apollousa. Setting a beast off of a Wendy effect, he then proceeds to the battle phase and attacks over Morpheus with his Bow Mummy. Once again we find ourselves in a tight situation, but the Dream Mirrors pull through and we top deck a Dream Mirror of Chaos, which is the quick play fusion spell. In our standby phase, he activates the Shaddoll trap to revive Winda, and to avoid the Winda lock, I chain the fusion spell here and get our big beefy boss monster out. The Winda should be in defense here, but it really doesn't make much of a difference. Our boss monster has the effect to destroy one card on the field when one of our monsters tributes itself, and with one special summon left with Winda, we do just that. Tagging out Friend for Foe, we then attempt to pop the Apollousa, forcing one of its negates, reducing its attack to 2-4 so we can then beat over it. With no resources left and being stuck under his own Winda lock, it's the end of the road for him and he scoops up his cards. Honestly, that was a really fun game. We did end up tying the match in time. Despite the mediocre results, the whole point of this locals was to practice with the deck and figure out a couple of changes we need to make. We learned a lot, but now it's time to prepare for the finale. Okay, so starting off with the Dream Mirrors, we have of course 3 Mara and our 1 Ultra Ikelos Sprite. 2 of the White Knight Morpheus and 2 of the Black Knight Morpheus, followed by 2 of our Good Boy Friend and 2 of Phantasos Foe. That's it for the Dream Mirror monsters, so we'll move on to the spells and traps here, starting with 3 Dream Mirror Phantasms. This card searches any Dream Mirror monster, but after that we have 2 each of the field spell, 2 Joy and 2 Terror, and then finally 2 Dream Mirror of Chaos. 3 Hypnagogia, of course, because we need access to our field spells, 2 of the Counter Trap, and 1 Dream Mirror Fantasy. So 26 Dream Mirror cards in total, leaving 14 spaces for techs and consistency boosters. Unfortunately, there's no archetypal draw power, so most builds play Extravagance. I, however, opted for a Danger Package and Allure of Darknesses. So the Danger Package has 2 Jackalope, 2 Mothman, 1 Snake, and 1 Nessie, because we never pulled any more than 1 Snake in Yu-Gi-Oh! From scratch, unfortunately. For the last of the spells, we have our triple Allure of Darkness and 1 Pot of Avarice from the Shadal Showdown structure decks, 2 Called by the Grave, and 1 Terraforming pulled from Yu-Gi-Oh! From scratch. So a 40 card main deck that I tried to make as consistent as possible. The extra deck is like a mishmash of different utility cards because you don't really use the extra deck that much in Dream Mirrors. So turboing through this real quickly, we have 1 Cross Sheep, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Cerberus, number 38 Hope Harbinger, Sayuja, Borrelode Dragon, Abyss Dweller, Topologic Trisbana, Dengirsu, one of our fusion monsters, Masquerena, Nightmare Phoenix, and Unchained Abomination, Linkaribo, and Boral Sword to round it off. And finally, we have the side deck. Now, siding was actually pretty difficult with this deck because there's not really that many cards you want to take out outside of a couple traps. But we had Pankratops, 2 Mind Control, 3 Twin Twisters, 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash Blossom, and 3 Shiny Lightning Storms. These were pulled from Ignition Assault. Unfortunately, I've sold all my normal Secret Rare Lightning Storms since that video, so I've had to sub in my Shiny Prismatics. But that is the final list we're going to be taking to our final challenge. So without further ado, let's do this. I assume at this point you're probably wondering what this final challenge could possibly be, and that is to defeat the greatest rival of Dream Mirrors themselves. Whose turn is this?
Can I banish yours? What the fuck is this?
Fuck this game.
What turn is it?
It's your end of it's your end of main phase.
It's legit who draws Phantasm first wins.
Let me just say, the Dream Mirror match is absolute hell. It's fun, but it's hell. So starting off here, Matt wins a die roll and chooses to go first. I guess he bricked because he activates Dream Mirror of Terror, the field spell, and passes turn. We top deck Friend, so it's unlikely that we're going to be able to kill him, but we can still do some damage. I realize that we're going to have to go through some danger plays, so I set Called by the Grave first because I don't want to discard it. Normal summoning Friend and activating our light field spell, I then activate Mothman and he misses. We draw into another Friend, which is unfortunate, so we just go to the battle phase and punch him for 18 and 900. Tagging out Friend for foe, we try to push for an extra 1900 damage, but we get hit by the Ash Blossom and have to pass on a Mothman. Matt's situation isn't looking any better as he draws for turn, sets 1, and then passes yet again. Top decking Allure is not exactly what we need, so I normal summon Friend and once again go to the battle phase and punch for 18 and 900, except this time we do successfully tag out for foe. The extra damage puts him down to just 700 life points, so during my end phase I tag out the field spell for the dark one. Easy game, boys. Game 2, Matt chooses to go first again, and our hand isn't terrible, but it's not amazing either. Matt starts with a Phantasms, search for Ikelos Sprite, and then just passes turn on that. Top decking a Called by the Grave for turn, we don't have access to a field spell, so I drop the Allure first to see if we can dig for one. Sadly, the draws are god awful, so I'm forced to normal summon Phantasos Foe and set 3, attack for 19, and pass turn. Matt activates a second Phantasms, searching for a Phantasos Friend, which stops me from doing any further damage. Once again, he just passes on that, and I top deck into my own Phantasms. We're kind of at a stalemate here because without any field spells, we can't really do anything. I misplay hugely here by activating my own Phantasms and search for another Phantasos Foe. He does activate Ash, but I chain Called by, so we do get the search. This was a misplay because I totally forgot that he would have just set a Friend, so I'm trying to push for damage with the 1900s, when really I should have searched for a light so I can fuse into our boss monster. I do realize this though and just pass turn instead of attacking. I think I should have included like some other better rank 4s in the extra deck for this. Once again though, Matt just sets a back row and passes turn. I draw into Ikelos Sprite, which is a light, allowing me to finally use my fusion spell, but we immediately gets shafted because he placed an imperm in the same column.
Oh, I see.
Ha 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 ha.
The stalemate continues as I pass turn. He sets a monster, still with no field spells, and passes it back over to us, where we finally draw a Hypnagogia, and we can normal summon our big level 8 Morpheus. So finally clearing his board, I feel like things are going my way unless he's able to bring it back. With him having 2 Phantasms, his monsters are stronger than mine if he manages to get access to field spells. He does, however, top deck a Terraforming, allowing him to get to his field spells and therefore make his plays. He normal summons an Ikelos Sprite and activates its effect, summoning Mara from the deck, who then summons Morpheus from his hand. Using the effect of his Morpheus, he targets my Morpheus for destruction, and I chain Hypnagogia to put both field spells on the board. Going into the battle phase, he attacks with his Morpheus, so we tag out Foe to summon Friend, who then summons Morpheus from the graveyard, and with Morpheus we target his Morpheus, and he chains his Morpheus to summon the light Morpheus from his deck. This match is such a nightmare to commentate, man. However, because there's 3 Phantasms on the field, all our monsters are buffed and nerfed at the same time, although because he has 2 and I have 1, his little 500 monster is stronger than my 1000 defense. So when he goes to attack over the Morpheus, we tag it out for the light one. In main phase 2, he links into Relinquished Anima, but we hit the summon with our counter trap. Drawing into a field spell for turn, I realise we're fighting a losing battle. I no longer have any targets to tag out Friend, and if we do tag out Morpheus to destroy his one, he's just going to tag out anyway. I link into Cerberus, hoping he's got all his Black Knight targets in hand and would therefore be unable to tag out, but unfortunately he does have targets in the deck and we get stomped. I honestly can't think of a better matchup to be tied 1-1 right now. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to leave it at to be continued. We have 2 other recorded games and I won both of them, but one of them he was playing without an extra deck, and the second one, there was just too many complexities and illegal moves going on. So I will say, if you do want to see a conclusion, and therefore a proper Dream Mirror Mirror match, let me know in the comments, and we'll get working on it. Jesus Christ, we're at 31 minutes of content and you're still watching, fair play to you. But yeah, I really just wish this deck could have been good. The theme and art style is incredible and the mechanics are fun and unique, but it just relies too much on the field spells. If you don't open any field spells, your monsters are literally like vanillas. I will say, however, that I don't think we're done here. I really enjoyed playing it, and the archetype's getting somewhat indirect support in Toon Chaos. So I'm going to continue tinkering around with the archetype and trying to find the perfect build while getting better at the deck, so when that support comes out, we'll be able to take full advantage of that. So subscribe if you haven't already and stay tuned for a quote-unquote part 2. Take care, I hope you're all doing alright in this pandemic situation. That's the UK literally just gone into lockdown. Next upload will be Yu-Gi-Oh! From Scratch episode 23, so I'll see you there. Bye.
Slow down. Fireplace to